massively. So the NF3, it is given with 250 CO2 absorption. So we are going to ensure that each NF3 holder is going to have that amount, because this is essentially what is the representation of the NF3. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Questions.
Thank you, Diana. So let's move to question number 2, which is, I'd like to get a decent insight on the current funding. Like, can we get a breakdown of what came in with the IDO, possible grants, and other funding, and what's remaining? And that's a question for you as well.
Yeah. Yes, I will continue with this because I've been closely looking at the numbers of Coorest the last couple of months. Well, I can start saying that we have included in the web one pager that we have in our website, our new website. We have included the use of fundings, specifically for the IDO or pre-sales that happened early 2022. In here, we can see that from the overall raised, we have invested 36%. 36% remained as a reserves. The 64% left, we have invested in the following manner: expansion and operations, 29%. We're talking about tech development, 25%, because this is our biggest part of the business, and 10% of within marketing and communication. And talking about the 36% of reserve, we have a plan for this year of 25%, not even this year, the following months, expansion and operation. We have 35% tech development, and we are very focused on the area of marketing and sales, which is having 40% of the current fundings that we have. I would like also to add that, as you well might know by now, we have made a significant restructure within the team of Coorest, and that has a significant impact in the financial management that we are having. So we can already say that, for example, we have a burn rate reduction of 50%. So this is the way that we have ensured that we can continue the operation of our activities and also practice a financial hygienic method. What else can I add? Yeah, so I see that there is, maybe a further breakdown can be communicated, but for that I would propose to prepare that our team can prepare a financial insight report, and that can be sent by email to our investors. I think it would be more professional from our side to communicate. And going back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, and we still have ongoing sales of NF3s, sales of CO2 tokens and NF3s still going.
Yeah. Just let me elaborate on that. So we are in the revenue stage. So we have our team, not only the sales director is focused on the whole revenue generation, but also the whole team is acting in a very agile manner. And we are already having some results, and we can see specifically in the main products that we have, which are CO2 tokens and NF3. So I think I have covered.
Yes, thank you.
Everything.
I think now this is a question to you, Diana, and Nick as well. So based on the current funding, what are the current costs and how long can you operate without a stable revenue? And this will probably also be good for a good answer on the many when IDO questions.
Yeah, let me start. I don't know if Nick wants to, but I will continue here because I think it's correlated to the previous one. Well, first of all, I would like to emphasize that we have a team that is working very, very hard. And I think we already can see the results. We have been working in a very tight and agile manner. And we've foreseen, at least with the current funds, we can operate for the year. But I really would doubt that we could not get any funding, especially because we have a whole product up and running. We are having ongoing sales. We have a development of the product. So I would say when the IDO, this would be not only a matter of we are looking for investment or having a capital injection, but the IDO needs to happen. So we are also in the process of the preparation for the IDO, not even preparation, but kind of fully planned by now. But this is something that is more part of Nick to elaborate. So if you are asking me a hard question, how long we can operate, I would say a year, but I would say not considering that we can get stable with a revenue and a capital injection would be very, very low possibility for us at this moment. Yeah, going back to you, Sabrina.
Yeah, Nick, do you want to talk about IDO, or should I move on?
I can elaborate a bit on the IDO. So, it looks like that the market might become a little bit more positive. Hopefully, it is becoming a bit more open for new money to and start investing in IDOs. So, I've been reaching out and talking to launchpads to see what is the appetite from their side to launch new projects. I see some are being launched. We're trying to see if it makes sense for us to do it in Q1, Q2. So those conversations are ongoing. And the good thing is that we have more than a white paper. We actually have quite a few things to show that are already on mainnet and are being used. So that is a good thing to have in conversations. But we don't have a fixed date yet. That's all I can say at this moment.
Okay, thank you. And what about the talks with investors? People want to know, how is it going?
We've been talking to a handful of VCs, venture capital, ranging from traditional to VCs focused on blockchain. They really understand the problem that we are trying to solve with our technology. So that is quite an easy conversation. The conversations with the traditional venture capitalists are a bit more towards educating them about the blockchain, because if they are not so familiar with the technology, we have to educate them a bit more. But VCs that are focused on investing in crypto projects, they immediately understand what we have built and what we're trying to accomplish. In the end, you have to show a lot of things in the data room. They have to go through all the financials. They want to see revenue projections. So and those are quite lengthy processes because you're also looking to have the right fit with the investment team. But it's all very clear that the need for a new standard and a new alternative for carbon credits is highly appreciated. And we expect that to get good results with one or maybe multiple VCs within the next couple of months.
Yeah, amazing. Now there's a question about the management team. They want us to introduce ourselves, and I didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning on purpose because I think we could introduce us now, and then talk about the rest of the team as well. So you know me already. I'm Sabrina. I work on marketing. And Diana, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Yes, my name is Diana Taborda. I've been, last year I was supporting Coorest on the operational manager side, specifically on the operations of the activities of the planting in Spain. And since January, I started to support them on the operational side, more as a role of a COO, where I also overlook the numbers of the company, and I will be also overseeing all the projects with the planting, and there are a lot of activities under my umbrella. But just I feel just good to be contributing to this company to move forward. Pretty much my purpose. Carmen?
Yes, so hi everyone, I'm Carmen. I'm currently the corporate lawyer of Coorest, but I'm also in charge of the onboarding process and everything relating the carbon standard together with the science team. I've been working in Coorest since the very beginning. And I'm still here, so I'm happy that to finally be introducing myself, because I'm guessing that most of our community has not have the chance to speak with me. So nice to meet you, everyone.
Pass it on to Nick.
I think majority of know me. I'm one of the co-founders and the last remaining board member, and I'm now acting as both CTO and CEO. And basically, I'm here to build the next phase of Coorest, and heavily focused on the new proof of concept that we are now built together with Interrisk for natural disaster insurance for onboarded projects. And not much more to add to that at this moment.
I would like to add something here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I got muted. Sorry. We are planning a dedicated AMA where we can present the whole team. We are also planning to have it with video stream, so we can also get a bit more of the faces of who are behind the team and who are these to make it more humanized, who are behind the laptop and who are working, contributing and building Coorest, who are basically the behind the scene. So we are going to announce that during the following weeks, and I look forward to it, and also look forward to see the presence of the community over here.
Yes, Ilya is here. Ilya, do you want to introduce yourself since you're here?
Hi everyone. You already know me from my introduction in the general chat a while ago. I'm a Coorest copywriter. I'm also engaged in several marketing activities for Coorest, and I've been with the company since December last year. 1 year ago, pardon.
Yeah, the year prior. Okay then, thank you. The next question is about the Q3. So on your roadmap, Q3 will be a seed round fundraising. What is this?
I can take that. A seed round is a second phase when a company start overlooking for capital injection. So at the moment, because of the size and the timing of Coorest, we are going through a phase that is called pre-seed round. And why we have planned that during the Q3, because at the moment we have we oversee Coorest growing in a organic way, and we are not really looking to have a big fundraising at first called seed round. After Q3, but this is something that we have in our plan based on the conservative vision we have. So yeah, basically this is what it is for seed round. Back to you.
Okay. So the next question is Coorest still partnered with Rooted?
Sabrina?
I can take that one if you want, and then if you guys want to add anything else. Is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, the short answer is no, we no longer collaborate with Rooted. As the community probably knows, or at least most of the community may know, Rooted was a project that was owned by William, who was the former director and shareholder of Coorest. The collaboration itself consisted in Coorest donating a certain percentage of the profits that we obtain for the sale of every NF tree to Rooted, which is a foundation that is also specialized in tree planting, same as Coorest. As William is no longer a part of Coorest, and because we at the beginning of this year, we really worked into reducing our burn rate and our expenses. We decided to stop the collaboration in order to avoid further unnecessary expenses for us, as the money donated to Rooted was used by them for tree planting, which is also something that we do ourselves. So by stopping this collaboration, we are reducing our burn rate effectively, and we are not. We don't stop the tree planting because that's also something we do. So we consider it now as an unnecessary expense for the future we are planning for Coorest. I don't know if any of you guys want to add anything to what I just said.
I think you covered all.
Okay, so moving on to the next question, which is about the wildlife. Will you still be tokenizing wildlife or have any involvement with the wildlife preservation?
The answer is we still would love to, but at this moment, we don't have the resources. We do have connections to start the project again. It's important to have connections to wildlife parks, but that requires resources to develop that concept that we rather focus now on core of the business, and that is CO2 compensation part. But we definitely have it on the radar, and if there's momentum to do that at the later stage of the company, then we definitely like to develop that into a working product.
Okay, now the community wants to know how they can help us. And I have some thoughts on marketing, but you guys can start on how do you think the community can help the project grow?
Yeah, that is something we also general chat. like a few weeks ago. If the community sees projects or farmer projects that they think that can be onboarded by us, then they can definitely help us and also the project to get us in contact with them so we can onboard them. That's one. The other one is to find collaborations with other projects, and that can be crypto-related projects or non-crypto-related projects that are looking to compensate or to become more sustainable. And there is also, of course, the branding part, an ambassador, the new type of carbon compensation. So, because I noticed a lot of directly or indirectly are working for companies that are also looking into this topic. You can always recommend, hey, there is an alternative in the market that really has a higher level of transparency and higher quality of carbon compensation. So in those areas, the community can help.
Yeah, also on the marketing side, let's make some noise on the social, guys. There's a lot of carbon market news going around, and it's always good if you can mention Coorest and talk to people about the company, because you will see from the next question what's our goal, and just helping get the company's name out there and like get people to know a bit more about us. It's gonna help a lot. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has anything to add. Okay then.
And if you have create carbon compensation certificates, shield them or write an article. I know people from the community are already explaining how they use it, why they use it. That is all very helpful to show, hey, the product is ready, it's usable, and show it to the world.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And so the next question I was mentioning is, where do you see the company in 2 years, or where would you like to see the company in 2 years? What's the ambition target-wise? Like trees planted, farmers onboarded, carbon credits sold, total offsets burned? Nick, do you want to answer this one? Nick?
Nick? Oh, I think Nick is disconnected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think he is the right person to answer this question.
Shall I move to the next one and then wait for him to come back? Okay, then, so I think this one is for Carmen, which is when onboarding farmers, ranchers, and landowners, do the onboard plant new trees, or they can tokenize existing trees?
Okay, so we only onboard projects that plant new trees. The reason for this is that it is a requirement of the Coorest Carbon Standard. In fact, I will try and summarize the answer, but if you want more information on this, you can actually go to our to the Coorest Carbon Standard, which is posted on our website. There you have the full information about our requirements and the reasoning behind them. But as I mentioned, planting new trees, this is a requirement of the standard, and the reason behind it is the additionality principle. So for a certain action or project to be additional, it has to effectively reduce the global carbon footprint. So tokenizing already existing trees does nothing to the global footprint. When you sell a product that's created out of already existing trees, you are obtaining profit, yes, but you are not contributing to reducing the global carbon footprint, as those trees that are not new were already there. They are capturing carbon already. So before you tokenize them, they already existed, they were already capturing carbon. So after tokenizing them, the global carbon footprint is the same. It hasn't been reduced. So even though non-additional carbon offsets are not forbidden, because the voluntary carbon market is exactly that, voluntary, and there are no requirements or guideline whatsoever about how carbon offsets should be, Coorest mission is to offer carbon compensation that's completely transparent, but also completely additional. That's why we require for projects to plant new trees, because we actually want a reduction of the global carbon footprint, because otherwise it wouldn't be reduced. We would just be creating a product that's not adding to the global carbon footprint, and that's only making money for us. Though nevertheless, and to be more specific, something that does fit the carbon standard and that Coorest actually does on board is project that considerably maximize tree carbon absorption. With this, I mean project that even if they do not plant new trees, they, through certain methods such as soil enhancement or FMNR, which means farmer managed natural regeneration. So projects that are taking an action that amplifies the carbon absorption of already existing trees. So imagine a tree project, okay, that has a piece of land that is been here for several years, so the land is not new, and on that land there are like several trees, but they are like, the land is really eroded, so the trees are not actually growing okay, and because of that the carbon compensation is minimal. So if the project does something such as a soil enhancement, or as I mentioned, farmer managed natural regeneration, to improve carbon compensation and to make the trees grow in good shape again, then in these cases, we calculate the baseline scenario, which is the carbon absorption rate before the project takes any action. And we also calculate the final result after the project actions. And then we tokenize the difference between these two, the baseline scenario and the final result. So to summarize again, we mainly onboard new trees, but we also onboard those projects that do something to maximize carbon absorption for a certain piece of land. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Carmen. Nick, are you back with us?
Yeah, I had to switch to my phone, but I'm back.
Okay, so I'll go back to the question for you, which is, where do you see the company in 2 years' time? Like, what's the ambition target-wise? Planted trees, farmers onboarded, carbon credits sold, and total offset burns?
The first goal is to make the term carbon credit obsolete. That people start to talk about CO2 tokens instead of carbon credits, especially after all the negative news that basically carbon credits are not the best way to compensate your emissions. And Coorest has basically built the next generation with a new standard based on blockchain technology. So that's goal number one. The next goal is to onboard way more projects and way more farmers. The exact number is kind of hard because it's also related to the size of the farmers. So I can say, I want to onboard like 2,000 farmers. They also differ in sizes. So right now we have a total of 6 hectares planted by ourselves, and there's 10 hectares in Angola. There's 2.5 hectares in Argentina. We are onboarding 7 hectares in Kenya. And those are just small numbers for now. And I think that we should, in 2 years, we should be able to have like up to 2,000 hectares onboarded. Number of farmers is hard to say, because some farmlands in Africa can be really big. I prefer to stick to hectares. It would be nice to end up at minimum of 2,000 hectares. Then another goal is that the CO2 token is integrated in multiple marketplaces, is used by multiple companies across multiple industries. So I would say have use case in the aviation sector, have integration in web shops where people use the token to do micro offsets, for example. Have an integration with other crypto projects. For example, what we are doing with Xave. Basically, I want to expand into metaverses with both the trees and the CO2 tokens. So, of course, we are in good contact with Vulkan. We have good contact with Xave. And yeah, it would be nice if we can become the standard for sustainable products in the crypto and non-crypto industry. And yeah, one of the goals is that we have a burn rate of the CO2 token at least 50 to 80% per year. So that is an indicator that people are using the token to generate the proof of carbon compensation certificates. Because I think that there will also be trading and speculation in the carbon emissions market. But I hope that the majority of the tokens will be used for compensation. And I hope that we can offer the onboarded farmers an additional revenue stream, and that we can see the positive effects from that they are able to buy more land to plant more trees, that each project that we onboard is able to have a sustainable growth due to the selling of their CO2 tokens. Those are the effects that we are looking for, indicating that our model works. So basically, long story short, we want to kick off the revenue stream by onboarding farmers and selling their CO2 tokens, and onboard, help them sell their tokens, of course, because a lot of farmers that we onboard, they don't know exactly how blockchain works. So we also have to educate them and help them find buyers and get the maximum value of the tokens. That's also a thing that we are focused on. A lot of things to accomplish within the next 2 years. But the most important thing is that the tech has been built and we are ready to scale. So the example use case that we are now developing with Ether Risk is also one of the goals to have an insurance product ready for all onboarded projects, that they can apply for natural disaster insurance for the trees and the CO2 tokens, giving a more credibility to all the projects and the CO2 tokens that they generate. Because it also comes down to the permanence of the CO2 that's being captured by those projects. Because in the end of the day, we are dealing with a real world asset, a tree that is exposed to risk like flooding, fire, and storm. So a tree can die or can be destroyed, and then it needs to be replaced as soon as possible in order to keep the CO2 locked or recapture the CO2. And that is the goal that we become the standard for those kind of products, that people say, okay, we choose the Coorest CO2 token because of the quality of the projects onboarded, the tech, and the insurance that the trees are covered. And that's also an important milestone that we should have ready in the next 2 years. So yeah, a lot actually.
A lot, but we'll get there. Thank you, Nick.
Yes.
And another question, are there specific types of farmers you were looking to onboard? Carmen or Nick, do you want to answer this?
Carmen, do you want to do it or shall I do it?
I feel like, in my opinion, obviously, the easiest way to answer this question would be that the farmers, to be on board, have to meet the requirements on the Coorest carbon standard. So one of the main ones being they have to be either landowners or they have to have a long-term right over the land that they want to tokenize. Which means that we need farmers that are here for the long run. So we need projects that we know are gonna be taking care of the trees in the long term, because carbon compensation doesn't mean anything if 5, 7, 10 years from now, the farmers are planning to just take the trees out, because then carbon compensation is no longer carbon compensation. So we need farmers that are in here for the long run again, but also respect the principles on the Coorest carbon standard. And I think, Nick, maybe you can add something.
Yeah, so I'm particular fond on projects that do agroforestry, or projects that produce also a fruit, vegetable, or nut, something that they can sell, because that means that they have a business model, and from the sale of the fruits, of the nuts, and the CO2 tokens, they should be able to reinvest in the land and the trees. And those projects then also are able to grow the local economy, because in the end of the day, that is really important, that projects are connected to the local communities and local economies, so that we are certain that we reach the maximum effect, because the end goal is to stop people destroying the environment, and we all know that the economic circumstances basically dictate what people do with their local environments, because people don't love to cut down trees, but they do that out of necessity, or they don't want to poach animals, but they do out of necessity. And if we can help and stimulate those local economies through tree planting projects that provide jobs and income and food to local economies, then it's, I think, a win-win situation. And therefore, we are particularly interested in projects that we find in Angola, in Kenya, in Argentina, and many places in Africa, but are small in scale and have no easy access to sell their carbon that they are capturing. And those are mainly from developing countries that we can help. Because to double an income from a farmer in Africa is quite easy compared to a farmer in Europe. So I think we will be more effective also in those developing countries. And there's more need for those projects to get access to extra sources of income. So, short story long.
Yeah, thank you guys. And we have the last question, which is, in our weekly update, we mentioned sales and commercial operations. Who is running these departments now? Diana, do you want?
I can take that.
Yeah.
Yes, Sabrina, thank you. Yes, we mentioned the sales and commercial operations because, yeah, indeed, this is one of the areas that we are very focused on. And the person that is leading directly is Alejandro. He has been within Coorest since the very beginning, always been leading the sales. And now he took full ownership, not only the sales, but also the whole commercial spectrum that can give revenue generation to Coorest, and also some sort of partners, commercial partners that we are having at the moment, and looking also to develop. And besides that, we as a new company, and also the approach that Coorest is seeking to have right now, to become more flexible and agile. That means that it's not limited to Alejandro to do that, but we are also on our daily basis supporting sales, supporting and spotting actually any commercial opportunities that we see, and we start building the bridge. And when things start kicking off, then we hand over to Alejandro because he is actually the right person with the right background to close and to move forward with those deals. Yeah, and Alejandro is not here today, but in our Get to Know Our Team AMA, for sure he will be with us.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we covered all the questions. I don't know if any of you guys have any other questions, but oh, I see another question here in the AMA channel, which is, are vineyards grapes worth onboarding?
I think so. I mean, as long as they are newly planted, they are green and they absorb CO2. So I would say, yeah, why not? We can definitely look into that. Yeah, I personally, I would not see a reason why it's not eligible for onboarding if they, as long as they comply with Coorest carbon standard.
Yeah, and you can go to the link on our website. There's a link to onboard there. If you cannot find it, or if anything, just ask us and we'll send the link. Is there any other questions from you guys? Or if anyone here from Coorest wants to add something?
Maybe some community members or audience members. I don't know if they want to ask a question or come on stage, maybe. I don't see any hands. Now is the chance to grab your stage moment.
You're breaking, Nick.
No questions from the audience? Somebody that wants to come on stage? I hope we addressed all the questions. Yeah, keep an eye on our socials because we are planning to be more active during events with partners, Chainlink and Etherisc, and we will be talking in London soon, the 17th or 16th of February. I think we're planning another event shortly after that. Yeah, to basically start promoting the new product that we're working on, and yeah, the CO2 tokens and a new way of compensating. Yeah, so help us promote those events. That would be really helpful if people from the community share it in their networks, because yeah, Coorest is still a small project, but personally, I believe we have all the fundamentals in place. But now it's a matter of getting the word out there that Coorest exists, and that is ready to be used by companies, people to compensate their CO2 emissions.
Yeah, and also if you have any further questions, you can always just ask them in the AMA channel or in the general chat. They're always very welcome, because your question is probably or could be someone else's question, and we can always answer them straight here or create content around it. So that's very helpful as well. And I guess that's it. Thank you for joining us in this AMA, and see you.
Yeah, I would like just to add a word. There are some members of the community who they have reached out to us individually and also provide some feedbacks, having calls and give giving us the encouragement and feedbacks. So I really want to send my thanks to them for all the feedbacks. They have been very well received, and also has give great adding to our thinking process, to a restructuring process. So I just want to say thank you to those who have reached out individually. I really appreciate that. The team really appreciate that. And yeah, let's keep happening, and just rest assured that we are building. We are very committed to keep growing this company, and we are. Everybody who is in this team has been in a daily basis working very hard, giving the best in order to make things in Coorest happen. That's it. Come back to you, Sabrina.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining the AMA, and thank you guys for answering all the questions as well. And I guess I'll see you around Discord.
Yeah, cool. See you around, and see you during the AMA. Get to know the team.
Yeah.